You are tuned in to the 5-Minute Signal, Business and Wealth. I am Vivian Thorne, economic strategist. This is not a finance podcast. This is a blueprint for building and defending your economic fortress. We don't do speculation here. We do strategy. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get to work. The numbers reported this morning across the global tickers are not merely data points. They are a declaration of a structural shift. As of February 2026, total global public debt is hurtling toward the $100 trillion mark. In the United States alone, the national debt has breached $36 trillion, now representing over 123% of the nation's gross domestic product. While the headlines focus on the surface-level tranquility of the equity markets, the plumbing of the global financial system is beginning to groan under the weight of interest service costs that have reached record highs. We are witnessing the early stages of a debt rewind, where the liquidity injections of the past 3 years are finally meeting the cold reality of a cooling global labor market and a contraction in discretionary spending. The safe harbor of cash, once the ultimate defensive posture, is being compromised by a sovereign debt bubble that has no historical precedent. This matters because sovereign debt is no longer a theoretical risk. It is actively crowding out private capital. When governments require more resources just to service interest, they suck the oxygen out of the room for corporate expansion and innovation. For the wealth builder, this creates a working capital trap. In developed markets, debt-to-GDP ratios exceeding 110% mean that fiscal space for responding to real-world emergencies has vanished. We are seeing a divergence where emerging markets, once considered volatile, are entering 2026 with stronger credit fundamentals than the G7. If you are sitting on a pile of cash denominated in traditional reserve currencies, you are standing on a melting ice floor. Here is the hard truth. Conventional wisdom says cash is king during uncertainty. That wisdom is obsolete. In 2026, cash is a slow-burn furnace. The unvarnished reality is that major powers must manage this $100 trillion debt through financial repression, keeping rates below inflation, or devaluing the currency to make the debt cheaper to pay back. This is an invisible tax on your discipline. By holding liquid, currency-based instruments, you are participating in a system designed to bail out the reckless by diluting the prudent. The liquidity trap isn't a lack of money, it's the fact that money is becoming worthless as a store of value. You aren't being rewarded for your liquidity, you are being harvested for it. To defend your fortress, you must deploy these 3 tactical moves immediately. 1. Conduct a maturity wall audit. In a high-debt environment, the cost of refinancing is your greatest enemy. List every obligation, from commercial credit lines to mortgages, and identify variable rates or upcoming expiration dates. Negotiate extensions or fix your rates now before the next sovereign credit accident spikes borrowing costs. 2. Initiate a hard asset pivot. Shift 10 to 15% of idle cash reserves into physical commodities, specifically gold and silver. These are the only assets with zero counterparty risk that cannot be printed into oblivion. In 2026, these are not investments. They are insurance policies against currency debasement. 3. Diversify geographical risk. Look toward hard currency debt in emerging markets with low debt-to-GDP ratios and positive trade balances. Decouple your wealth from the fiscal rod of developed nations and move it into jurisdictions practicing the discipline your own leaders have abandoned. The time for passive saving is over. The time for strategic asset protection is here. Protect your capital today by auditing your currency exposure and moving into assets that exist outside the central bank printing press. I'm Vivian Thorne. This has been the 5-Minute Signal. Stay sharp. This program is for informational and educational purposes only. Economic strategist Vivian Thorne is not a licensed financial advisor. This content is not a substitute for professional financial, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.